Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I built a 500k plus landscaping business in a year, basically knowing nothing in the beginning, and how you can do it too. So here's my partner and I with some of the equipment we have, and then a picture of me on one of our trucks along with a trailer. So just a little bit of background about myself. I'm 27 years old. Our landscape business does pretty much construction installations, like the whole 9 yards. We do outdoor barbecues, artificial turf, plantings, irrigation, sod, pavers. So anything you could think of that goes into the outdoor living space, we'll pretty much do it for the most part. At the moment, we have two trucks, a trailer, a skid steer, and three guys out on the field actually doing the labor work. And my partner and I, we started the whole thing from scratch. So literally from zero, we began the whole thing, and we were able to scale it to where it is today. So I'm going to show you guys basically a mini outline of how you guys can do it yourselves too, along with some pointers. Okay, so mindset shift. So in this industry, in the landscape construction industry, there's lots of money to be made. Tons and tons of money to be made. So don't go into it thinking that people don't have money to spend, because that's how you're going to cut yourself short, and that's how you're going to underbid on a job, and that's how you lose money. So think in terms of abundance. Remember, good people, good customers are always willing to pay, and there's money everywhere. You're going to want to get your company registered as a legal entity. That way it's all legal, because the IRS will get you. They don't play around. Uncle Sam's always going to get his cut. So my partner and I, we registered as an LLC partnership, but you can also register as an S corp. Talk to a tax person and see which is best for you, and make sure to get a bank account made. And along with that, you're going to get a company name and logo made. We actually use 99 Designs, which is a website, which it's like a little tournament thing where you input some details of what you're looking to get into your implemented in your logo, and they do like a whole tournament thing where you end up choosing like the best one. And also, you might need a contractor's license depending on what state you live in. Each state's gonna have different regulations. I think Colorado or something, you don't need any sort of license, but in other states like California, you're gonna need your license. So it's something to look into. And just remember, where there's a will, there's a way, because some people give up on the first step right here, because you need experience to get started, right? But just remember, where there's a will, there's a way. So the first stage is what I like to call the flyer phase. This is where nobody knows you. If nobody knows that you do landscaping, how are you supposed to get hired? You can't get hired if nobody knows you. So the first step is to put your name out there. You need your friends, family, anyone in your social circle knowing that you do landscaping. So spread those door hangers and flyers like wildfire. My buddy and I, in the first couple days, we would go to the mall. We'd go to like grocery shopping parking lots, like grocery store parking lots, and we'd put flyers on the windshields of different cars. We just go around and just boom. We put them on every single windshield we saw, and some people would be like looking at you and giving you dirty looks, right? But you can't care what people think about you when you're starting your company, because if you do, then you're not going to get anywhere. So go out, spread the word, let everybody know that you're doing landscaping. Make sure to utilize social media, because that's a big player in today's world. So you could join like local Facebook groups. There's Nextdoor, Craigslist, things like that. Anything to get your name out there. And if you have no experience, you could start off with small services like cleanups, weed removal, and small irrigation fixes. And always remember that the best known company is always going to be better than the best company. Because if you're the best company but nobody knows you, then who cares, right? So, my name is Slide gotta pay to play. So if you're gonna get into the landscape construction industry, I'm not gonna lie, it's super expensive. And you're most likely gonna have to get into a couple $1,000 of debt. And if you have no money, what I would do is take out a credit card. Remember, this isn't financial advice, so go to a financial advisor and just measure your risks accordingly. But what we did basically is we took out a credit card and we bought a bunch of tools and a truck. I think some of it was actually using some savings as well. But whatever we couldn't afford, we ended up just taking it out on a credit card. But we made sure to not just go spending like crazy. Once we bought only what we needed, we would basically put the credit card away and we wouldn't use it at all until we ended up paying it off. So don't be scared to go into debt and remember that you're playing the long game. So look at it in terms of tens tens of years, right? Like decades. Look at it in terms of decades. You're going to be in this for the long run. So don't be scared to utilize the bank's money. Just use that as leverage. And it's super important that you build connections. So you want to be going to local suppliers and talking to the people that work there, as well as any customers that they have just shopping there. Network, 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 because having connections, I'm sure in any industry, but I can attest to the landscape industry, is super important because you never know who might come in handy and help you later on. You'll be surprised. So when it comes to landing our first contract, we actually ended up doing an artificial turf installation. It was a front and backyard that we did. I think it was like $10,000, which, I mean, looking back at it, we sold that super cheap, but you do kind of have to in the beginning. You gotta have your fair share of pretty much crap jobs to get your name out there, right? So it's a little bit of sacrifice in the beginning. And a funny story, I remember when we went out to do this job, basically as the client was signing the contract and giving us the our first check, he was asking us for our ID, which we actually ended up just giving it to him, and he took a picture of it because he didn't trust us at all, which I don't blame him, because we didn't have a Google business profile set up, so he wasn't able to like look us up on Google or anything like that. So the guy was like sketched out. So it's kind of funny. We kind of talk about it looking back on it. I would definitely set up a Google business profile, and it was actually my partner, his cousin, and myself that did the install on this job, and it ended up coming out super nice. And don't be making the mistake that you need to know everything before you start, right? Because you're never gonna end up starting if you try to get everything down perfect before even getting out there on the field or in the office and just getting things done. So just remember, in business, speed is of the essence. You want to do things quick and learn, whether it's just learning things or actually doing an install or whatever. When you come up with an idea and you think it's a good idea, just boom, just go after it and get it done, because that's how you're either gonna know whether that was the right choice or the bad choice. So always make sure to go with speed, move fast, make decisions quick. You don't want to get stuck in analysis paralysis. And basically, like I said, don't aim for perfection, aim for action. And sucking in the beginning, that's completely normal. You're gonna suck no matter what you do in the beginning if it's something new. But if you keep at it, you're just gonna get better and better as you go. And so all the money that you're making on all your jobs, make sure to just be reinvesting it into the business. So what me and my partner were doing is all the money that we were making, we were just stashing it away. Boom, boom, boom in the bank account. Everything was getting stashed away. And if we needed money for rent, food, just personal expenses, then we would just take that amount out. Nothing extra. So everything was getting reinvested right back into the business. And this just allows you to scale quicker and basically just move at a quicker pace. It's almost like you're time traveling. It's a lot of sacrifice, but it's super worth it, to be honest. And do remember that just because you see like a big number in your bank account, it doesn't mean that you could just go out and be spending it like crazy, because this is a seasonal business. So depending on the area where you live, you can get snow or rain, and the leads could stop coming in. So you got to be prepared for the winter. So when it comes to hiring, having the wrong people on your team can definitely make or break your company. So you want to make sure that you're hiring the right people. You want to make sure that they're experienced. You want to make sure that they show up on time, and you want to make sure that they do quality work, and that they're not just half-assing a project when it comes to quality and the actual rate at which they're doing the work. Because you don't want, even if someone is nice, or they do like nice quality, you want to make sure that they're not super slow and just taking their time to to make more on a job, you know. So those are just things to watch out for. And this is where the networking is going to come in from what I was telling you guys earlier. You want to build as much connections as you can, have as much phone numbers that you can on your phone, because even if one guy can't come out and help you, there's always a guy that he knows. There's always going to be a guy that knows a guy, basically, that could come out and help you. And you never know, you might get a super valuable employee and someone that's going to help you build your business from the ground up with you. So you want to make sure that you're not out there laboring yourself, and that you're working on the business and not in the business. And when it comes to buying trucks and equipment, don't get impatient, and you have to make sure that you wait until it actually makes sense for you to pull the trigger and make these purchases. Because a lot of people, they get, what do you call it, like candy eyes, I don't know. They get super enthusiastic when it comes to the idea of just buying like a skid steer or like nice trucks and all these things that look cool, all these toys per se. But you want to make sure that you're buying them at the wrong time when you actually need them. And you want to make sure that you're booked out and you have people where you're going to be using these pieces of equipment. That way you're actually making money on them and you're not just indebted. And in our situation, we ended up going with a Ford F350 and a Cat 255. We also have the GMC I was telling you guys about, the GMC 2008, and a dump trailer. And we've been able to build our business just off of those things as of right now. But we do plan on making some purchases possibly next year, 2026. You also want to make sure that you have systems in place. Everything needs a system, all the way from when the customer first calls and you put them on your schedule to go out and do an estimate, to when you get the last paycheck from a customer. Everything needs to be systemized. You need to have a script for your phone calls. You need to make sure that your employees know what's going into a certain project, that your foreman is well informed, your crew leader, and that your other workers, basically your laborers, know what to do on a certain job. That way you guys can be in and out as soon as possible, because that's the name of the game, is get in and get out. That's how you're going to make money, and you want everything to be super efficient. And without these systems, everything's going to fall apart. You're not going to have any sort of structure. You need a foundation, right? Think about it like a house. You need that foundation for everything to stay standing for years to come, or else that whole house is just going to fall apart, basically. And that's a no-no. So when it comes to our plans for 2026, we hope to hit about 1.5 million in revenue. And some people may say that that's an ambitious goal, but that's what got us here in the first place. So I guess in my opinion, you just have to have ambitious goals no matter what, or else you're never gonna get anywhere in life. So you always have to overachieve, because even if you don't reach that goal, you're gonna be guaranteed to land somewhere near it as long as you're working your ass off. So we want to do that, and we do want to scale potentially, maybe get a second crew. That'd be very nice. And we want to get more and more hands off with the company. So those are our goals for 2026. And I'm gonna be posting a little bit. Excuse me. I'm gonna be posting more of this type of content on my channel. So if you guys want any pointers or tips when it comes to anything landscaping or anything business in general, just leave a like, subscribe, and I'm gonna keep making more content. See you guys next time.